Early morning, the sky is still a deep navy blue. Bare footprints of small children are pressed into the muddy ground. A thin mist drifts away in the distance while a dog barks among the tents. Suddenly, the roar of a jet engine cuts through the quiet camp. Everything in the small refugee camp was silent this morning. Until that jet broke the calm. The jet quietly lands in a distant field. Moments later, a figure in a black coat with a hood walks toward the tents. Her face is hidden, but her steps are steady and purposeful. Several aides rush alongside her, but all eyes seem drawn to her. Is she a relief worker? No, she's someone else. A child peeks out of a tent, eyes fixed on the approaching figure. His eyes widen and he runs to his mother. Mom! Mom! An angel has come! Look, just like an angel! The woman slowly lowers her hood. Silence. Her eyes are weary but strong. This is Angelina Jolie. But this visit wasn't just charity or a simple visit. It was a journey to heal the deepest wound in her life. And here, she would hear a sentence that would change everything. Angelina Jolie's face is now clear. She wears a simple beige coat and a gray scarf over her head. Her eyes don't just see the camp's poverty, they see the deep despair in the people. Every tent, every face seems to tell her a story. But she's trying hard not to be recognized, and almost succeeds. A camp worker quietly whispers to his assistant. Almost no one realized it was her. No media, no flashes, just her heart here. Angelina gently strokes a child's head. The child hides behind his mother, frightened. Angelina leans down slightly and reaches out her hand. She doesn't smile but meets the child's eyes with a warm gaze. Slowly, the child extends his hand. The moment they touch, the child's eyes light up. Angelina whispers, "Hi, I just wanted to meet you." The child's mother nods gratefully. Angelina moves on quietly. With every step, it becomes clearer she's not just a celebrity, not just a spectator, but a witness. These people aren't news stories to her. They're the world she once belonged to. Angelina didn't come here to deliver aid. She came to face her past. What brought her wasn't fame, but the voice of a silent child she once carried inside. Flashback. A brief scene. A little girl hides under a bed. Yelling from the door. A man's voice. Her mother's screams. Then silence. The girl covers her ears. The same silence now fills the camp. Back to the scene. Angelina steps aside and looks over papers brought by a volunteer. The worker tells her about some of the children. The volunteer says seriously, "There are many orphans here. Their families lost in the bombings. Some still can't speak. Especially one girl, Amira." Angelina looks up at the name. Amira? Where is she now? Every morning, she sits alone under a tree with her notebook. Doesn't talk to anyone. She writes, but no one can read it. Letters missing, words broken. But she's there, every morning. Angelina falls silent, her eyes distant. A child who writes but never speaks. That description feels familiar. Sometimes a stranger's story holds a sentence from your own past, and that sentence begins to tear down walls buried for years. Angelina pulls away to a quiet corner of the camp. The camera focuses on her tired but determined face. She closes her eyes for a few moments, taking a deep breath. Behind her, worn tents and children playing on dusty ground highlight the complex emotions inside her. The silence wasn't just from war. It was the silence of pain she'd carried for years. From the outside, Angelina's childhood might have seemed bright, but inside it was shadowed by fragility, loneliness, and abandonment. Flashback. A night in young Angelina's home. A little girl sits in the corner of her room. The walls flicker with the soft glow of the TV. Voices rise between her mother and father, squeezing her heart. Fighting, shouting. Her mother's tears, her father's harsh words. She pulls a blanket over her head, left alone in the storm raging inside and outside. Young Angelina whispering in her mind, "Why does it always happen like this? Why am I always alone?" Angelina had dreamed of a loving home, but reality was cruel. Her family falling apart broke her sense of safety. For years, she built a shield to protect herself and always tried to appear strong to the world. Back to the present. Angelina helps an elderly woman at the edge of the camp. The woman's hands tremble, her face tells the story of years of pain. Elderly woman. "Girl, there's something in your eyes. You've seen a lot. You've been through a lot, haven't you?" Angelina nods softly, words caught in her throat. Angelina, quietly. "Yes. Every scar made me who I am." Those words connected not just to herself, but to every pain in the camp. Because the true face of war isn't measured by bombs, it's measured by broken hearts. Angelina watches Amira from a distance in a quiet corner. Amira sits silently with her little notebook. Her writing is messy, incomplete, but full of meaning. Angelina wants to approach but hesitates. Her own fragility helps her understand others' pain, but building a connection isn't always easy. There was an invisible thread between Angelina's past and Amira's silence. That thread would tie them together and reveal a much deeper story. The camp had fallen into an afternoon silence. Amira sat alone in the corner, scribbling in her notebook. She would write, then erase, then start again. Her face was filled with worry. Her hands trembled slightly. Angelina approached slowly, but kept a step back. Their eyes met. In that moment, Angelina saw it. This little girl wasn't just carrying the weight of war. She was carrying something darker. Amira's silence spoke louder than words. It wasn't the silence of peace. It was the silence of a soul screaming from within. Angelina's eyes fell to the notebook. A name was scribbled and crossed out. Khaled. Beneath it, scattered words. Among the drawings, a destroyed house, a cliff, and the shadow of an unknown figure. Angelina thought to herself, I've heard that name before, but where? Suddenly a memory surfaced. A news story from the darkest days of the war, a missing boy. His name was Khaled. Her eyes widened. Her heart began to race. She stepped closer and gently knelt down to Amira's level. Her voice was soft. Who is Khaled? Do you know him? Amira looked away. Her lips trembled, but she said nothing. Just then, a man stepped out from one of the tents. His eyes were cold, and his stare was sharp. He snapped at Amira. Amira, put the notebook away. Don't get too close to these people. Angelina didn't blink. She stared straight at him, her protective instinct rising. I won't stop caring about these children, especially when someone like you is the one scaring them. The man turned and walked off angrily. Amira looked up at Angelina, her eyes filled with gratitude. In that moment, Angelina wasn't just a visitor anymore. She had become a protector. But this camp didn't just hold the ruins of war. It held secrets, buried deep in silence. That night, inside her tent, Angelina looked at Amira's notebook again. Hidden between the sketches were jumbled notes about the day Amira had run away. One word stood out: betrayal. Angelina whispered to herself, this girl isn't just a victim of war. She's haunted by something darker, and it's still chasing her. The next morning, at the children's play area, Angelina sat beside Amira. From afar, it looked like they were playing, but the sadness in their eyes told another story. Suddenly, Amira gripped Angelina's arm and whispered, you have to protect yourself. If they find me, everything will be over. Angelina froze, her heart raced. Who's trying to find you? What are you afraid of? She asked. Amira looked down. 2 quiet tears rolled down her cheeks. Because my past is dark, and that darkness is still watching. A new morning had dawned. A cool mist lingered in the air around the camp. Angelina walked quietly toward Amira, carrying a small breakfast pack in her hand. The little girl looked shy at first, but Angelina's warm and steady gaze gave her the courage to stay. I want to talk to you today, Amira. I need to understand you better. I know the drawings in this notebook. They mean something. Amira hesitated. Then she took a deep breath. Sometimes the past gets so heavy. Angelina knelt down to meet her at eye level and spoke gently. I know, because I'm fighting my own past too, but we can be stronger together. You can tell me. Amira's eyes welled up with tears. The words got stuck in her throat. But Khaled, he was my brother. But one night, everything changed. He's not the same person anymore. There's a stranger behind his eyes. Angelina felt her chest tighten. What happened to your brother? Why did he change? Amira's gaze drifted into the distance. When the camp was attacked, Khaled tried to save us. Later, as Angelina walked through another corner of the camp, she heard whispers from behind the shadows. Keep your eyes open. He's not just a danger to the children, he's a threat to the entire camp. A sense of dread started growing inside her. Her heart rebatted. As the sun began to set, she confronted the camp supervisor. I know you mean well, but this place isn't that simple. Digging into certain secrets, It can tear everything apart. You might want to keep your distance from Amira. I want to understand what's really happening in these children's lives. Amira's story isn't just hers alone. We can't protect anyone with some way. Later that night, she was alone in her tent. She opened Amira's notebook again. Hidden between the pages, she found a small map. There were strange markings, place names, and mysterious codes drawn all over it. "Meanwhile, you must find me, or everything will end." She woke up, covered in sweat. Her eyes turned toward Angelina. "I keep hearing that voice in my dreams, and I know this war isn't over." Amira's past and the camp's hidden truths were deeply tangled. In the middle of it all, Angelina had to protect the girl and confront her own fears. Fear, betrayal, and mystery were all closing in. But most of all, no matter how painful the truth was, I carefully moved forward, keeping the map I had found in mind. My steps led me toward the forbidden section of the camp. My eyes scanned every corner. I was on high alert. The passing staff and children glanced at me with suspicion. Why was this place completely avoided? The map showed it. But what was it hiding? Suddenly, a shadow passed by. I turned around, but no one was there. A chill ran down my spine, and I quickened my pace. Amira gently touched a small necklace that once belonged to her mother. Her eyes glistened. The way she carried inside was growing heavier by the day. "Mom, why did you leave me? After Khalid, how did everything fall apart?" A child screamed outside. I flinched. I entered the tent holding a warm blanket. "You need to feel safe, Amira. This camp is your sanctuary. But your secrets, they're suffocating you. You don't have to carry them alone anymore." Amira nodded faintly. Her eyes flickered between fear and fragile hope. The overseer sat at a table with two men. Their faces were full of worry and calculation. "Angelina's presence is disrupting everything. We can't let Amira open up any further. If the past comes out, it will tear the camp apart. But the burden that little girl carries is affecting us all. Sooner or later, the truth will come out. Then we need to act, before it's too late, for our own safety." I sat beside her, flipping through her notebook. The same image kept appearing. A shadowy man, always half hidden, holding an old book. "Who is this man, Amira? Why do you keep drawing him?" She turned away but whispered, "He's not my father, but I'm tied to his secrets. That notebook, it holds the key to everything. Where is he, Amira? We have to find him." But he's hiding in the darkest corners of the camp. Walking alone around the camp, my mind was full of doubts, fears, and determination. I wanted to protect Amira, but I also knew the truth had to come out. This place isn't just a refugee camp. It's a graveyard of lost lives and broken dreams. And Amira's past might be at the heart of all this pain. Angelina and Amira's story wasn't just about two people. Soon, it would reshape the entire camp. In the shadows of betrayal, fear, and loss, a small light of hope had begun to flicker. But no one could have imagined how devastating the truth would be when it finally surfaced. Moonlight lit the dusty camp road. Amira tied an old sack to her back with her small, fragile hands, stuffing in a few belongings. She moved slowly and carefully, her heart pounding wildly. Every moment, she feared getting, "I have to find a way. I have to get out of here. I have no other choice." Suddenly, a voice came from the darkness. "Where do you think you're going, little mouse?" Amira froze. The cold gaze pinned her down. Angelina stood in the camp's safe zone, speaking with a guard. Her face was serious, eyes full of determination. "I need a few people to help. We have to find Amira and get her out. We'll uncover who that man is and what he's done." The guard hesitated but finally nodded. "A few are ready, but be careful, this man has his own men." Amira struggled to break free from the grip holding her arm, dragged back toward the camp's dark corner. "Let me go! Enough it!" A merciless squeeze. "Be quiet! This is for your own good!" Tears welled up in Amira's eyes, but a small fire began to burn inside her. Goodness isn't here, only darkness. Angelina and her team moved silently through hidden corridors, faces anxious but hopeful under flashlight beams. "Don't be afraid, Amira. We're coming." Summoning all her courage, Amira suddenly broke free and ran. The chase began. With every pounding heartbeat, Amira started a dangerous run toward freedom. Behind her, ruthless darkness closed in step by step, But Angelina moved bravely through the night, ready to risk everything to save the young girl's life. Moonlight barely lit the narrow, suffocating camp corridors. Amira's breath was uneven, her heart racing wildly. Behind her, heavy footsteps and harsh breathing echoed. Fear and helplessness mixed inside her, but so did a growing fierce rebellion. I've had enough. I won't be afraid anymore. I will get out of here. I will be free. She quickened her steps, eyes scanning around which way to go. Were the camp's borders truly unavoidable? The man sped up, his cold and ruthless gaze unchanged. No one escapes from here. Especially not you. You'll stay here and no one will know. He reached out, nearly catching her. Angelina and her team moved silently along the narrow path lit by flickering flashlights, each tense faces filled with mixed emotions. Amira, can you hear me? Stay calm, we're right here. A guard raised his hand to signal. Approaching footsteps grew louder. Amira summoned every ounce of strength to break free from the man's grip. Suddenly she faltered, eyes filling with tears torn between fear, despair, and defiance. I'm going to ruin your game. With her small hand, she pushed his arm. He stumbled. Amira took off running. Relief washed over Angelina the moment she saw Amira, but danger was far from over. Amira sprinted toward her, while the man closed in fast. Stop! We end this here. A guard, next to Angelina, quickly stepped in front of the man. A brief but intense struggle followed. The man shouted, resisted, but the team was prepared. He backed off. When Amira reached Angelina, her eyes were tearful, but filled with courage. Fear and hope intertwined. I couldn't outrun them, but now I'm not alone. You'll never be alone again. From now on, I'll protect you. Amira had ignited a spark within herself. That spark would become a fire to save her and the other children from darkness. And Angelina was determined to be more than a rescuer. She would be the voice of justice. Because the truths hidden behind this camp ran far deeper than anyone knew.
Yes, it's worse than we thought. These kids aren't just being held here, they've been forgotten. That man, he's not just a guardian, he controls everything. This place can't be their grave. He's not just a guard. He's the one who locks these kids' lives away in silence and fear, the master of their invisible prison. We're getting out of here, I promise. You're not alone anymore. They didn't just lose their homes, they lost their names too. No one came looking for them. No one interferes with this camp. Anyone who disrupts the order gets silenced. I know you're scared, but you're not alone anymore. We're going to expose him, together. Promise me you won't leave me. I promise. You'll never be alone again. That night was a turning point, not just for Amira, but for Angelina too. As dark secrets came to light, a new spark of hope quietly ignited. But a tough confrontation still lay ahead. Amira, tell me the truth. Why are you here? Who are you running from? I just want to be free. My family, they never understood me. I ran because here, at least I can hear my own breath. I want to help you, but you have to trust me. Otherwise, it won't just put you in danger, but everyone trying to help you. Trust isn't easy to earn, but I'll give you a chance. Sorry, I saw the door was open. My name is Yusuf. I'm the camp coordinator. I don't think we've met, but I think I should know who you are. I'm just a volunteer. This girl, she looks familiar. Years ago, I met her mother in Aleppo. She was a nurse. She died protecting children from bombs. My mother's name was Layla. Yes, Layla. She gave everything for others. Even when the world was breaking apart, she protected life. You're her daughter, and you're as strong as she was. Never forget that. You come from good people. I came here just to help, but meeting you reminded me what really matters. Now I know I'm not alone. Sometimes all it takes is for one person to believe in you, and everything changes. That day, it wasn't just a girl who was saved. A spark ignited in the dark. Because sometimes to change the world, you don't need a shooting star. You just need someone brave enough to see it. Children's laughter echoes in the background. Aid workers hurry around. But now there's a difference. Amira is no longer alone.